mass unemployment, immigration, open borders, bailouts and derivatives, mass media distraction.
And welcome back to the Grassroots Connection. And wanted to kind of get back into the stories really quickly. And I got something out of our chat room here. It says here, Sarah is asking you please to call out for people to meet and greet Green Party candidate Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. at Goat Feathers, Tom Clements. Okay, so that is done. Again, you can always list anything you want in that chat room as long as it's not obscene or vulgar. I will get it out for you, all right? And our call-in number today, 742-1230, 742-1230, and toll free at 888-671-7278. All right, now, got the necessaries out of the way, and so I can get back to this issue. This issue is paramount. I know a lot of you don't think so until you're called a terrorist, until somebody accuses you of being an extremist. Then maybe, just maybe, you'll remember this show. Anyway, I was reading a report yesterday, I believe, from, it was about Janet Napolitano and Big Sister. Is really happy right now. I think she's only worried about IEDs and maybe some other minor explosive devices in the United States. In other words, there's no huge terrorist threat. Yet, she sits over the Department of Homeland Security, which employs about 4,000 government and quasi-government intelligence collecting agencies or businesses. And some of those are state acting agencies. In other words, there are groups collecting intelligence for Department of Homeland Security, amongst others, that are actually state actors. They're owned by a government. When I say state actor, that's what I mean. I mean that there are Israeli groups spying on us in our own country, and it's sanctioned by our own government. And you think that's cool, huh? Yeah. Well, I don't. I don't think that's cool at all. 4,000 different agencies collecting all this information on the Americans, us, for what? For what? Explain that to me. Are we expecting a nuclear bomb or something? What? I think if we were to stop going after Muslims all over the world and invading their countries and dropping bombs on them, we probably would get away with half as many of these people sucking up our tax dollars saying that they're protecting us. Because frankly, I don't trust them. They're the problem. I don't see the Muslims as a problem, folks. I see this apparatus as choking us to death. You know, when I grew up, I used to watch these gangster movies all the time. I used to love them. And there was this thing, that you noticed that these guys would do. They'd come into a neighborhood, and then they'd start offering protection. They would start coercing people into paying them money to protect them from who? Who were they protecting them from? From the person they were paying the money to. Because if they didn't pay them, they would tear up their store, tear up them physically. And so I see this going on right now in my country where we have this huge apparatus, Department of Homeland Security. Yet they don't seem to be doing anything. I mean, really, is there an army sitting offshore waiting to invade? No. Every time they pull one of these poor Muslims into court, we find out that they've entrapped them. So who are they really protecting us from? And maybe, just maybe, we need somebody to protect us from them. I mean, from Homeland Security. Yeah. Okay, anyway, there are so many agencies out there collecting information on Americans and reporting to Homeland Security and God knows who else, that the Department of Homeland Security gets at least 130 different intelligence reports daily. Daily. Each one of those probably from 10 to 20 pages. Who in the world reads all those reports? Are they coordinated? I doubt it. I really do doubt it. You'd have to prove it by me. And these guys have not impressed me yet. Napolitano has not impressed me yet. I look at the underwear bomber, okay, who was escorted on the plane over in Amsterdam, I believe, and made it past the detectors. You know, these new detectors that we have in all of our airports. Well, you know, he never even went through one. So he was escorted onto this plane by a well-dressed Indian man, as reports have come out, and never stopped by the security forces. He got on the plane. He's coming across. How does he get detected? He's in the bathroom lighting his underwear on fire, and one of the passengers says, hey, you know, I'm not going out like that. So he went over and he took him out and told everybody, I think this guy's a terrorist. And so that's what stopped it. It wasn't Homeland Security. So again, who are they protecting us from? And do we need some protection against them? I say yes. I say yes. And you know what? The Constitution is the document that is supposed to protect us from a state gone berserk with power. And that's what's going on now with the FBI just going willy-nilly. And this is not the first time. We've seen this before. Okay? So I recognize it when I see it. Anyway, here's one from the American Civil Liberties Union. Said the report showed that the FBI improperly spied on American activists involved in First Amendment protected activities and mischaracterized nonviolent civil disobedience as, and I quote, terrorism. If they can't freaking get that right, if they can't tell the difference between someone who is nonviolent and a terrorist, then we got a problem. Okay, and it's the FBI. That's the problem, all right? The ACLU Policy Counsel, Michael German, said that the FBI, and I quote, has a long history of abusing its national security surveillance powers. Now, this isn't coming from little old Andre in South Carolina. This is coming from one of the heads of the American Civil Liberties Union, a group of lawyers set out to protect our civil liberties, folks. And they're telling us, giving us a report that, guess what? Yeah, they've been doing it. A long history of it. So how are we letting these people get in the media and scare the bejeebies out of our children, our grandparents, our parents about these terrorists when we dig and find that they have entrapped these poor people and then not even use the laws that are set up to protect the innocent from false prosecution as a defense? And when is this going to happen to Americans? Well, it's already happening to Americans. I'd say Jose Padilla. Basically abducted, rendered, and tortured right here in Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, so I'm making a few of you mad. I'm sure that'll do it. But listen, I don't care. You people are running around arresting and harassing people who have done nothing. And then you use them as some sort of spectacle to incite fear in the rest of us. And I've simply had enough. That's all. Anyway, let's see here. We were back to Michael German, said that the FBI has a long history of abusing its national security surveillance powers, reaching back to smear campaign waged by the American government against Dr. Martin Luther King. This is well documented. Well documented. Okay? We know how you do what you do. So when I look at you, I see through you. I see your motivation. I see you for what you are. The FBI spokesman, Paul Brinson, said, however, that the lengthy review, and I quote, did not uncover even a single instance where the FBI targeted any group or any individual based on the exercise of a First Amendment right. Now, that's the FBI spokesman. What do we expect him to say? That no, you don't need me to protect you from the boogeyman? That no, I don't need another $1 trillion so that I can make sure that you're safe? No, he's going to tell you, be scared, be very scared, and I need all the money you can give me. And so will Janet Napolitano, and so will Barack H. Obama. I'm sorry, folks. These are hate mongers and fear mongers. And I say hate mongers because what the result is of that fear is palpable hatred towards people who are actually not doing very much. Yeah, they're not very bright, okay? But again, not terrorists. And if you can't tell the difference from a peaceful, nonviolent activist and a terrorist, then you don't need to have any badge, okay? The power that you have is the power of that uniform, the power of that office. And if you don't believe me, take off the uniform, take off the badge, and walk around. Understand that the world that you are creating, okay, goes even beyond you. As you serve these hate mongers and fear mongers, you create a world for your children that is absolutely unacceptable. It's unacceptable to me as an American, and I don't want to leave this world to you with my children in it. That's out. So we got to make some serious changes. We have to be adults, get over the fear, over the cowardice of, being afraid of your neighbor because his skin is a different color, because he worships a different God. Give me a freaking break. Wasn't this country founded on the freedom of religion? So how is it that these Muslims are being picked up by our security intelligence services that we pay to take care of us, and then they entrap them? They don't give them the full liberty of our law. The laws that we try to hold up as a beacon to the rest of the world as a democracy. I think we got a problem, and the problem is if a police state is your definition of democracy, then you're by yourself. I'm not with you. I don't care. I don't want to live in Israel. Otherwise, I'd go move there, So don't turn my country into a police state because you're a coward. I'm sorry. I just can't deal with it. All right. Well, it's been a great show. We've got a few more minutes. If you got any calls, call in. If not, I'm sure you got my point. It's well documented. Do some research. Find out what I'm talking about. Understand that everything you see on the news is not the truth. Understand that there is an agenda behind it. Understand that that basic agenda is to bankrupt you, to take every penny you have as you cower in the corner, afraid to live your life because somebody might get you, because they hate you for your freedom. Think about that. Doesn't make a lot of sense. If they hate us for anything, it would be for invading their countries and killing their children. And that's what generates terrorists, folks, not your liberty. Their liberty. You taking their liberty is what generates terrorists. And, taking the lives of their children. That would do it too. Invading their country, yep, that'll do it too. Anyway, so if we want to stop paying Homeland Security and the FBI, the first thing we have to do is disenfranchise this military monster going around and destroying Muslim nations. That's what we have to do. We cannot bring our version of democracy to the world. We are not the police of the world. And if you don't believe me, go ask somebody else in this world outside of America. We have lost our moral standing. We hoped that Obama would bring that back. Unfortunately, I don't think so. And from what I'm hearing from friends all over the world, they're in stark terror of the United States. Why is that? Why is that? Everybody knows. No, everybody knows why that is, huh? Here comes